Welcome to the Empowering Choices Parenting Podcast. My name is Joshua.
I'm Erik.
I am Lucas.
Erik and Lucas are licensed professional counselors. We have created an online community with a website and an app full of parenting resources and courses. Most importantly, all of this is centered around a private community where you can share your struggles with us and others. If you are interested in joining, please check out our website at empoweringchoices.community or search for our app in the App Store by searching Empowering Choices. For a small monthly fee, you receive everything I talked about and you help support the show. Plus, every time someone purchases a membership, we gift a membership on your behalf to someone who otherwise could not afford it. All right, now on with today's show.
So today we're going to be talking about what you do when you're missing one or more of the parenting tools. And we've got a few of them, but today we're going to kind of focus on one, and that is when you're missing the blood bond.
Is this a parenting tool? Or like, because I know we have a giant list of parenting tools. Mm-hmm. I almost feel like we need a different title there. This is like a parenting structure, foundation, or something.
Thing?
A thing, yes. We definitely, that's
thing.
The word we're looking for.
So, I mean, it's definitely a thing, but it's when you talk about it as a thing, you're talking about it in Western society as a thing that most people and parents don't understand. And the reason why I would put it as a tool, I mean, if you look at our manual, it's not in the 33 list of tools.
Right, which was where I was going in my head.
It's in chapters before that, but you also have in chapters before that the relationship with your child, which is a tool, and the teamwork between the two of you, which is a chapter, and consistency, which is a chapter. But the blood bond is one of the biggest natural connecting tools that you have. And the reason I'm still putting it as a tool is it's not something you have to pick up and learn or anything. It's there. But so much of psychology has said that, you know, it really doesn't matter. Anybody could raise any kid. And my rebuttal to that is it's not that other adults can't raise other children. But if that were simply the case and it didn't matter, why do we have so many kids who have been adopted that when they get to their later teens and into adulthood want to find their natural blood-born parents?
If it didn't matter at all.
If it didn't matter at all, because and we're not talking about the parents, you know, the kids of the parents that adopted them and did a crappy job. We're talking about the kids of the parents who had wonderful, adoptive, nurturing, loving parents who did everything right. But these children are still saying, but I want to know who that blood parent is. And that pull is there.
Yeah, my wife, she always knew that her mom had given up for adoption a son. And so she was just raised with sisters, but she knew that somewhere out there is this brother. But basically, he ended up showing up and he ended up contacting her mom, and he was raised in a wonderful home with great parents and loved all that. But he really wanted to connect with his mom and his family through blood bond. So yeah.
I feel like the other tools that we have listed are more like, I would use the word maybe like interventions, like things you can do. Right. And the blood bond is a tool, but it's like, it's not something you can make happen if it's not there. You have to wield it if it is there, and you have to work around it if it's not.
Kind of.
Because you can't make it happen if you don't have it.
You can't actually intravenously pump your blood into their veins and get the same result.
Get the same result. I mean, you could, but that'd be strong medical malpractice.
Or it would be a blood transfusion, which
you just don't do it at home.
It'd be weird though.
So, right. And, you know, we haven't heard those kids that come out of a blood transfusion with an adopted parent going, oh my gosh, there's such a deeper gravitational pull that I now feel.
Wouldn't that be a neat reality? It's not, but it'd be interesting.
Well, yeah, I'm picturing the hands of government. Okay, yeah, not so much.
You're letting your biases come through there, Erik. Be careful.
That's the reality, not a biases. But you've given them half your DNA, and so what you're gaining is that a child who naturally looks to you and wants to please you, we go over this in the manual, they want to please you, they want to be with you, they want you to be happy with them, they want to be connected with you. You have this strong pull that is just right there on your side. And a lot of parents that I've talked to are like, I had no idea that was there.
They're not wielding it or using it to its effectiveness.
Oh, wielding, such a great word for that. And once they understand that, that will help counterbalance, well, I don't want this kid to hate me. Well, you have to understand that what you have there is a big counter balance for them hating you, because honestly, they're going to get to the age, and that's a lot of times crossing over into adulthood, but some of them get to it in teenage years where they're like, I'm the kid. I am supposed to throw a fit, basically. I am supposed to want what I want and do whatever I can in a way to try and get it. And you're the adult, the parent. You're supposed to say no and not let me have it.
At some point, there's an internal recognition of, I understand what I'm doing and I'm looking for a response from you that isn't the one that I'm verbally saying I want.
Right. When I worked with many teenagers, that would be what they would say to, even their foster parents. I know how I'm reacting, but I also have this confidence that you're supposed to say no on things that I don't know are bad for me. But I mean, I don't have to like it, but I need you to hold your ground.
And that's like teenager-ish age where that brain space starts coming around.
Because once your brain starts to change and you get into adulthood, you're going to reevaluate your entire childhood now through adult thinking. And that's when you come back around and go, what do you mean you were my friend? You were supposed to be my parent. I see so many places that could have been different for me right now, and it's not. And so there's a real natural piece that happens there. But let's say you don't have that blood bond.
Right. That's not a natural advantage you have in the relationship.
Yep.
What do you do uniquely and specifically to bolster that disadvantage, I suppose?
Well, we could go through a pop quiz here. Are you ready?
I'm probably going to fail.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So in order to be able to work with a child that you don't have the blood bond with, now that could be adoptive, that could be step, that could be, any other form that's there. A, take them more to McDonald's. B, give them lots more desserts and lots less vegetables. C, buy them a giant Newfoundland puppy.
Wow.
Or D, spend more time with them.
Well, option A could encompass option D, so I'm going to go with options A and D.
Okay, so you're going for two answers in a set of four that only allows one answer to be chosen. Because option E was not
choose the best option.
A and D.
I'm creating option E.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, you always say that's how the world works when you're the one
correct
trying to
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm taking a tool out of your toolbox.
Yeah,
and
I'm
saying
the one with
option
Asperger's, so it works for me like that. So
we haven't determined whether or not I have it, so I'm going to say in this case, when it works to my advantage, that I do.
Yeah, I'm going to trump that.
But your option D, spend more time with them, which could be done at McDonald's, is always a good choice for parenting, I think.
Okay. You just told every parent out there they should take their kid to McDonald's and spend more time with them.
No, I just clarified saying you should always spend more time with your child, which could be done by going to McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
I have a client who very specifically talks about their McTherapy sessions as a family, and they said the best conversations they have are usually in the McDonald's drive-through line while they're waiting.
Okay.
So, yes. So option D,
So we're going to go with option D.
Supplemented by option A.
Oh, okay. Now, if you're not taking them to McDonald's, what are you doing with them if you're still going with option D?
I'm going to let Josh answer that question because I've been talking enough.
Going to the park.
Okay, you're going to go to the park with them. What if they don't like going to the park?
You make them go anyway. Oh, wait.
okay.
No, this is supposed to be a helpful podcast. Sorry.
Then I would try to see what's something that they would enjoy.
Okay. Because that's actually a good answer for the podcast, because when I have parents that come into me and they're like, I need you to fix my kid. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you do with them? Mm-hmm. No, we're not here about me. I need you to fix my kid. And I'm like, I am. What do you do with them?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I take them with me when I go grocery shopping. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, do they like that?
Right.
And now I'm going to be absolutely fair, because we're talking about an art, not a science. Mm-hmm. I have had one parent who took one stepson with her when she would go to shopping at his request. Mm-hmm. And she's like, he asks me all kinds of questions. He talks to me about his philosophy of life. He says this is the only time he gets away from his brothers that he can actually do these kinds of things. So you work with it as an art, but it really, you need to find what your child likes to really make this something that is going to be powerful.
That's a really important thing to know about your child for so many reasons, including this one.
Oh my gosh, it's a foundation. Yeah. You need to know your child. My dad was really great at dragging me in tow to all kinds of things that he was doing. And somehow he thought I was going to learn so much about the world. Now, my relationship with my dad, if you have seen any of the Indiana Jones movies, it was a lot like Sean Connery and Harrison Ford's character. The Sean Connery character is always working on the next genius type thing that they're doing, and off to the side and doing the books and doing the things. I mean, this really was my dad. I am out there having adventures in the world just like young Indiana.
Fighting with Nazis.
Oh, well, can we call the high school students at that time Nazis?
I think that's politically incorrect to do that.
Okay, well, but they were kind of bad guys. So, literally, there were, all kinds of adventures that were happening. And so, my dad would go and do archery. And so he would take me to do archery. Do you think I got to put an arrow in that bow?
You should have been able to.
I should have been able to. I did
at the proper age, with the proper supervision.
Right, the proper training. I understood all that at the age of 8. I was willing at that at the age of 8. I did
Probably not his
that.
100-pound compound bow wouldn't have been the best choice for an 8-year-old, but I mean,
at that time, you really didn't have such of a thing.
100-pound compound bow.
They were recurves and such. And here's the thing. When I did actually get to go to the indoor archery range, the people that were there who were instructing and big-time people saw me shooting and made everyone stop so they could watch me shooting and told my dad, with the right equipment, your son has incredible talent.
Neat.
Hint, hint, you need to do this. Guess what he never took me back to?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So these are just some little pieces that if my dad would have done those things, I would have walked on water for him. And so, like with my son, and we talk about some of these things in our courses as well. He wants to play Pokemon. He was like, Pokemon, I want to play Pokemon. I want to play Pokemon, and I'm like, I really am much more of a Magic player. and he's, Pokemon age. And so I'm like, I don't want to play Pokemon. I don't want to play Pokemon. Because Pokemon is very simplistic in compared to Magic. And so finally I'm like, you know what? I need to do this. I just need to do this. So I went and I bought us a couple of decks. He already had some cards, but I got him, a brand new deck. And, we start playing Pokemon and, weeks go by, months go by, and he's like, oh, let's play Pokemon. And about the end of 6 hours of playing Pokemon, he's like, okay, I want to play another game. I'm like, dude, I beat you for the last 6 hours. Are you sure? And he's like, no, more. Play more. He's loving it, And so taking your kids to things that they really want to do doesn't mean you have to take them to everything, and it doesn't mean that if you don't like it, you have to do it. I've had moms, dads, thinking of a mom with an 8-year-old. She is not a video game mom. But she was like, I will go in there when my son plays for a certain amount of time and watch him and talk to him. He was cool with that. He understood Mom's not going to play this game. Fortnite is not her thing.
Yeah.
But she was able to work with that, and that helped their relationship.
So basically, do things that your kids are going to enjoy and that you can build that relationship with. And that is a different thing than, well, I took my kid with me when I went shopping and when I went to, take out the trash, whatever all things. And I got dragged along for tons of things that I was like, I don't want to do this. But then I also got taken to things that's like, yeah, I've been looking forward to this for a long time, and this is cool. My parents are taking me to,
I knew a guy one time. His name is John. And he had 2 daughters. One that was his natural and one that they had adopted the exact same time. And his daughters were all grown up out of the house. I mean, John and his wife were in their 70s. And so I said, John, I got a question for you. And he goes, what's that? I said, do you notice any difference in raising your daughters between the blood bond daughter and the adoptive daughter in the way that you felt towards them? He never skipped a beat. He said, absolutely not. I loved them both equally. I'm drawn to them both equally. And I said, well, how'd you get that part? He goes, spend time with them. So there's a huge part of spent time with them, built a relationship with them. That's the part that overcomes if you don't have that blood bond.
So we have a variety of things that we've talked about as far as parenting, that these are good fundamentals and these are good tools. And the theme that I'm hearing is if you're missing one of them, you should lean on the ones that you do have.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. So do you think that there's something unique that I am raising a stepchild, I am raising an adopted child, I'm raising a child that's not biologically related to me, that you should uniquely do for when you don't have that tool? Or is it simply do all of the other fundamental foundational things that you can?
Spend time with them.
Okay.
Find things that they like and you like and do them. Because that's what you would do with your natural blood child as well. The spend time with them and the blood relationship is like if you have the blood relationship and you don't spend time with them, picture a kitchen faucet that is trickling out water. Now, spend time with that child who has the blood-borne relationship with you and picture that faucet as it's now being turned on full.
Sure.
That's your difference in connection. Same way if the child is not yours. None of my children are mine, but I have huge bonds with them by doing just this exact same thing. And so even into adulthood, there's big bonds there that I have with kids.
Absolutely. So when you don't have one of the foundational things, and I like the word foundational as opposed to tools, because see our previous discussion.
Yeah, but I like tools.
You do the other good things that you should do to make up for the deficits in whatever relationship. In this case, they're not your biological children.
Yes. So the moral of the story is spend time with them. It'll pay off. I mean, that's another part that we'll talk about at a different podcast is lots of teenagers and lots of adults think that when you get to junior high, it's just supposed to be this rebellious slide that the kid gets on. I'm here to tell you, if you spend time with them up through grade school, and if you keep spending time with them, or even if you didn't have that opportunity and you start, you will cut those rebellious things in half, and then in half again, to where it's not going to be what you just expected or see on TV per se.
You've been listening to the Empowering Choices Parenting Podcast. If you have enjoyed this show, we would encourage you to visit our website at empoweringchoices.community. For a small monthly fee, we offer a website full of parenting courses and resources. You also have the ability to connect with parents going through the same struggles you are in a safe and private environment. Every time you purchase a membership to our site, we give away a membership to a parent in financial need. Help yourself become a better parent while helping others gain access to important parenting materials by supporting our podcast. Check us out at empoweringchoices.community or in the App Store by searching Empowering Choices. We'll see you on our next episode.